right, welcome back to the Deep Thoughts podcast, episode 29. We are back and better than ever.
After another 9-month hiatus.
Yeah, another short hiatus. This is our usual.
This is our schedule. Every 9 months, expect a podcast on the day.
Yeah, so we'll see you at Christmas. It's gonna be a pretty fun time, but
I guess that would be on track. Is next Christmas would be the next episode.
We are back. The reason for the hiatus was I was out of town taking a job, but now I am back in town. So we are together in studio. I now have to pay rent for the studio again. We're renting it out. We were using it as Airbnb before this.
I can't even keep up with all the freaking excuses we've had.
We bought a new studio, but I'm back in the studio.
And if you don't hear from us in the next 9 months, because we're building another studio.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's going to be pretty busy for us. We got a lot of big plans. We're about to release some new merch, perhaps, if I
launch a network.
Feel like it. Yeah, launch a multimedia network. We're going into the metaverse, I believe, pretty soon here.
Yeah, we got NFTs on the way.
Yeah, we got NFTs. Deep Thoughts NFTs coming soon. But yeah, so we are back. So welcome to the Deep Thoughts podcast. I hope you guys are enjoying listening to our voices again. It should be a pretty great time. It's about to be probably about a 4-hour podcast here coming up. We got a lot to catch up on. But first and foremost, let's talk about the most latest news. The new Spider-Man came out. I believe it was, 2 days ago?
Yeah, Spider-Man Homecoming just came out.
Spider-Man Far From Home is on the horizon, so let's talk about Spider-Man Homecoming. Anyways.
No, it's actually about fun.
Andrew Garfield is back. The best Spider-Man is back on our television screens. Oh, jeez.
That was fell.
Andrew Garfield is back on our television screens. How do you feel about it, Zach?
I only watched Amazing Spider-Man 2 and part of the first one.
The second one's the worst one. So
yeah, I didn't have full reference for his Spider-Man character, but I remember seeing. Did I see Amazing Spider-Man 2 with you in theaters?
Possibly. I know you. We saw the newest one together, but
I saw the second one in theaters, and then I watched part of the first one on Blu-ray because I have the Andrew Garfield ones.
Oh my gosh. Do you have them both on Blu-ray?
Yeah, I do.
And you haven't even bothered to watch the first one?
I watched like the first half, and then I think I turned it off.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I just remember it was like Andrew Garfield is like this freaking 27-year-old hunk who gets like bullied in high school, and like he gets punched in the face repeatedly. I'm like, this is not.
It's very it doesn't fit Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield's a great actor, as you can see in the new Spider-Man, and a lot of people now are kind of, really rallying around Andrew Garfield.
No, they're hopping on the bandwagon.
Yeah, maybe he was a great Spider-Man. Maybe those movies are actually good. No, they are not good. Sure, they're entertaining, but they're terribly made. Like, the fucking dialogue is awful. It's just really they're just stupid movies.
The second one had way too many villains in it.
Yeah, that had the fucking.
I mean, you could complain about that, I guess, in this one, but.
Yeah, I mean, this one, no, this one actually makes sense. It was made by Marvel. It had a lot of better high quality.
Did the Amazing Spider-Man have the Green Goblin in it?
Yes.
Okay,
it had the guy from Chronicle. I don't know what his name is, but he kind
of looked like he was melted.
Yes, he looked disgusting. He was the Green Goblin, and they were supposedly best friends, like, before this all happened.
So he was playing Harry Osborn?
Yes, he was playing Harry Osborn.
Did they have Norman Osborn character in that series? Or was it just Harry?
I don't think it was
Because you would have to have Norman if they had Harry.
So what they had in the movie, I remember, is that, I don't know if his dad, I think it was his dad, I guess it must have been Norman. He was dying due to the Osborn curse, apparently.
Okay,
because
it'd have to be Norman then.
Apparently, they reach a certain age and they just start dying for no reason because of, like, their blood or something. And so,
try to write yourself out of that.
Yeah.
hole.
So the Green Goblin, the fucking kid Harry, he's like, oh, well, to fix this curse, I just need Spider-Man's blood, which doesn't make any sense. And so he literally tells Andrew Garfield, for no reason, like, hey, I'm trying to get Spider-Man's blood. I heard you know him. And Andrew Garfield's like, yeah, I know him. I'll see. Then Andrew Garfield dresses up as Spider-Man, goes to Harry Osborn's house, and says, hey, actually, I'm not going to give you my blood. See ya. And Harry Osborn's like, what the fuck? Like, why not? Like, it doesn't, like, why wouldn't you just give him your fucking blood? Who gives a fuck?
Well, if you asked me, hey, can I get a jar of your blood? I'd be like, no.
It's not. He's like dying from this fucking curse. Okay, he's trying to get this superhero blood. It's not
Well, if you think in real life terms, if some random friend just asked you for a jar of blood, would you give it to him?
I would give you my blood, Zach. I would give you my blood.
Without any context, really?
If you told me you're gonna die, yeah, I'd give you my fucking blood. Jeez.
But then you'd be like, oh yeah, I'm not going through any medical channels, I'm just injecting it into myself.
I mean, I guess, but I would give you my blood. But anyway, so the new Spider-Man brings all Spider-Mans back. It's got Tom Holland.
You remember like 10 times more just from that part of the movie than I know from Amazing Spider-Man. I remember like
I've watched a lot of YouTube videos.
I just remember like Jamie Foxx is like a bumbling blue idiot.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx is terrible in that movie.
Yeah.
He somewhat redeemed himself in the new movie.
The rat guy I didn't remember at all. Or the lizard guy I meant. I didn't remember him at all.
The rat. He's in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Thinking of the lizard guy. The professor guy.
Yeah, he's from the first Amazing Spider-Man. So
that's
probably why you don't remember him. He's useless. He doesn't do shit.
He doesn't do shit in this one either.
He does. I mean, that's because
he's like because
he was because he was a useless villain in the first one. They had to just throw him in there, and then. But anyways, it was a really good movie. I mean, it was obviously a lot of fan service, but I mean that's pretty much what everybody wanted anyways. They brought back all 3 Spider-Mans, and everybody loved it. I mean, when I first watched it, this is actually the first movie I watched by myself in a theater, which is pretty surprising.
You actually saw it by yourself?
Yeah, so I went so when it came out, I was like, oh man, like I don't know, I don't think anybody else really wants to see it, or like I could have asked like some of my coworkers and stuff, but I was like,
no one wants to see Spider-Man.
Yeah, who's ever even heard of Spider-Man?
Such a niche title.
Yeah. So I ended up seeing it by myself, and I loved it. I was just smiling like the whole fucking second half of it.
Did people clap at the end?
I think a couple did, yeah.
People clapped at the end when I saw Uncharted, and then someone literally shouted out, "What are you clapping for?"
Sounds about right. But yeah, so I don't know. We can all right. We got 2 topics on hand. First, Spider-Man. Second, should people clap at movies? All right. First, Spider-Man. So, yeah, it was a really good movie. Obviously, a lot of fan service, but, I mean, they pretty much delivered on all the promises that they kind of portrayed to everybody. I mean, I really liked, obviously, all the 3 Spider-Mans in there, all the villains. I thought the story was really good. And obviously, it kind of sets up the new Spider-Man, where he's kind of just on a blank slate. He wants to be with his friends again.
Are they continuing it? Because I thought Tom Holland said he was like kind of done.
What? They are.
I thought he was. He said he was going to take a break from acting for a while.
I don't know about that. I thought they were continuing it. I thought they were like fully going in on it. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. I don't keep up as much with the Marvel stuff.
I hope you're wrong, because he's my favorite.
I just saw an article that said he's like filming an Apple TV show, and then he's taking a break, like an extended break from acting to like have a family or something.
Have a family with Zendaya?
Yeah, I guess.
Damn.
I mean, he's like 27 or something, 26, 27. He's not super young. He just looks really young.
Yeah, that's true. Anyways, speaking of Zendaya,
but he is playing a high schooler in this movie. Same with Zendaya.
That is true.
Zendaya's playing a high schooler in like 3 different things.
Yeah, she literally started out as a high schooler.
How old is she in real life?
I don't know.
Is she like Tom Holland's age?
Like 42, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
She's like Yzma, but
because she was like a Disney star for a while.
Yeah,
right?
well, because she started off on Shake It Up, where she was like an actual
Shake It Up
high school.
Because I didn't
actress.
even start hearing about her until Spider-Man started coming out.
Really?
Yeah.
I knew about her when she first like I don't know. So she's pretty close to our age, obviously, but like I remember that was kind of like the end of my Disney Channel days. Was when Shake It Up came on.
She's 25.
Yeah, so she's basically our age, like very similar. Because I remember when Shake It Up came on, I was like right at the end of my Disney Channel watching, and I remember watching like the first bit of that, and
Tom Holland's also 25.
Okay, and I was like, yeah, this show like kind of sucks. I was not a big fan of Shake It Up, but everyone was like,
I remember hearing about it, but I never watched it.
People were obsessed with Zendaya back in the Shake It Up days. Like people our age, teenagers were like,
really? Oh, okay.
Like, oh, I love.
Well, I
Zendaya.
figured she must have been big if she's like entering on the scene with one name.
Yeah. I mean, that shit. She came on to fucking Shake It Up, and I was like, why? Like she's not. Like, this is her first fucking thing, and she's like already making a brand for herself.
Big ego right there.
Yeah, shit. So, yeah, that's a power couple these days. Kanye West and Kim K are done. Breaking news. Pete Davidson took that role.
You're like already moving on from Spider-Man.
All right, moving on from Spider-Man. It was a good movie. I don't recommend it though. Don't watch that movie. Save it for our the real fans.
I want the good memories for myself. Exactly. I don't want anyone else to have them.
I like to gatekeep people.
But I usually don't watch a whole lot of superhero movies, but I thought it was really good.
Really?
Like it was usually when a movie is like over 2.5 hours, I'm like, fuck me. Mm-hmm. But this actually went by pretty fast.
Yeah, it's very entertaining. Pretty much all the way through.
Just because they have so much to like work with that like nothing gets old. Like they have to keep moving.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's, I mean, even for me, like I've seen almost every Marvel movie at this point, which is ridiculous because I'm not even like that huge of a Marvel fan. I mean, I've seen, I guess the ones I haven't seen is like, I actually haven't seen the, what the fuck is it called? Fucking guy in the the new Spider-Man, fucking the guy who like helps him with all that. So Doctor Strange. I haven't seen the actual Doctor Strange.
I haven't
movie.
seen that either. I haven't seen that one. I've seen like half of Black Panther.
Black Panther's good.
Yeah, I haven't seen Captain Marvel or Eternals or Shang-Chi.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of like the side projects. Yeah. But, I mean, as far as like movies, I've
pretty much after Avengers, I kind of like tuned out. I'm like, do I really need
like the first Avengers or like the
no? I meant the Avengers Endgame.
Okay, yeah. I mean, pretty much after that, they kind of just started going with the new phase.
After the first Iron Man, I'm like, do I really need these movies?
After the first Avengers, you're like, well, they've all been in a movie together.
Oh, actually, and I haven't seen the second Thor. I think I've seen the first and the third.
I think that's highly regarded as the worst Marvel movie of all time. So yeah, Captain Marvel's also not that good. You can skip that. That doesn't really.
Well, it's probably really weird if you went from that one to Ragnarok, where it's like it becomes a comedy.
Yeah, it was super like. Because
like I think Ragnarok had more comedy than like any other superhero movie I've seen.
Yeah, well, because I remember
Deadpool.
Yeah, I didn't really mind the first Thor. Like I thought it was, like
I don't remember it much, but I remember thinking it was like okay.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I was like, okay, this is. I mean, obviously it's pretty old, but then watching Thor Ragnarok, I just was not expecting it to be that fucking weird. Yeah. And I was like so caught off guard. Where I was like, this is like, I don't know. I mean, it's.
Which one was Thor fat in?
What? That was Endgame.
Okay, it was Endgame. Okay,
yeah.
I couldn't remember if it was Infinity War or Endgame or like a different.
Spoiler warning: Thor gets fat.
Oh, I also haven't seen the Ant-Mans.
Ant-Mans aren't good. Don't watch.
Really?
Those.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of Ant-Mans. They have really stupid comedy. It's not fun. He's not a cool Paul Rudd, superhero. Though. Paul Rudd's cool, but I don't know.
He doesn't pull off a superhero vibe. I thought it was kind of weird that he was in Endgame.
I mean, don't take my word for it. I mean, a lot of people love Ant-Man, which I don't get, but I'm just not a big fan for it. I just think the humor's very kid-friendly, not what I like.
It is weird, like, Paul Rudd is part of, like, the Marvel, or this Marvel
I feel like everybody is at this point. Like, if you name, like, all the top actors in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's, like, fucking ridiculous. Like, I feel like everybody's trying to hop on the train. Like, even just, like, side actors. Like, you got fucking, I mean, just list them all. You got Tom Holland, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, fucking Paul Rudd, Chris Pratt, fucking
Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper, Vin Diesel. Like, it's like just the random side shit. Like, anybody could have fucking said I am Groot a million times, but they just chose Vin Diesel.
Do you think he just said it like 5 times and then like they just carried that through like 5 movies?
Probably.
I played the Guardians of the Galaxy game and it was pretty fun.
Oh, really?
It just came out like a few months ago.
Damn.
It was really good.
Let's play that then, jeez.
Yeah, it's like an only single player game, but yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
They don't have like the main guys from the movie voice the actors, but it doesn't really need it.
Yeah, I mean they're pretty much all the same anyways. I mean I mean especially with Guardians of the Galaxy, since a lot of it's basically CGI based anyways, it's not really certain people playing.
Yeah, the guy that plays Star-Lord kind of gets a little whiny, but other than that, it's really good.
Damn. All right. So that's Spider-Man. That's
still never talked about it.
So what would you rate Spider-Man? Scale of 1 to 10.
Give it a 9.
A 9. I'd probably give it about an 8.7.
Okay, what's the difference between a 8.6 and 8.9?
I gave it an 8.7, but I think the difference is, I just wanted a little bit more.
You saw a glitch in one of the scenes?
Yeah, I saw an editing mistake. Why was Tom Holland in this movie?
Zendaya's hair was out of place.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be Tobey Maguire hooking up with Zendaya. Whatever. I was not happy with that. But anyways, it was a good movie. Don't see it, save it for the actual fans.
This is like Tobey Maguire's like first acting role in like 5 plus years.
Yeah, what the fuck is he even doing? I think
he's been producing.
I know he played the fucking chess guy. Like the really famous
Bobby Fischer?
Yeah, Bobby Fischer. He played him in a movie once. That was like one of like the other main roles that I remember him being in.
I remember I looked it up and I was like,
that's what I remember him because like especially now, like people are just so fucking obsessed with the new things. Like now that like Tobey Maguire.
Okay, so he did play Bobby Fischer in a movie called Pawn Sacrifice in 2014.
Yep, I remember 7 that. I never saw it, but it's actually 8 years ago.
And then after that, in 2017, he was Adult Tim / narrator in The Boss Baby, and then Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, he voices he voiced a kid in Boss Baby.
So those have been his 3 acting roles in the last 8 years.
It's not too shabby. I mean, because even now people are like going back and looking at his old acting roles. It's like, oh my gosh, he was so good, just because now he like is in the new big movie. So
I mean, it's like I don't know, he wasn't in like a ton before Spider-Man.
No,
he just had like a bunch of like guest spots on TV shows, but
yeah, I don't know. He's making millions. It's stupid, but all right. So next,
it's stupid.
So Spider-Man is a great movie. Next topic. So I had this kind of written down. This is kind of an interesting story. Do you remember Finger on the App? Did you ever do that? The Mr. Beast
no
app thing you did?
I don't keep up with Mr. Beast, really.
Really? I like Mr. Beast.
I've heard he's a good guy.
Yeah, he does a lot of good for the world. He has a lot of like kid-friendly content, but he also just like splurges on shit and spends a lot of money where it's like...
That sounds weird. He has a lot of like kid-friendly content where he splurges on stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Just splurges on the kids. So Mr. Beast is a good guy. So pretty much what he did, this was about a year and a half ago or something. He basically did this thing where he called it Finger on the App, where pretty much the whole deal is that there's an app where it has like a little grid and you put your finger on it and you have to like just keep it on the app, and like you have to move it around to hit certain like blocks every 10 seconds. So you can't just like leave it on the app. You have to like keep it moving. And it's basically a thing where whoever keeps...
Is it like a hand on the van? Like keep your
exactly.
Hand on the
It's basically like whoever keeps their finger on the app the longest wins like $100,000. So I, at this point, was... I believe I was unemployed at this time.
Yeah, I was going to say the only way you could do this if you're unemployed.
Yeah, so it's basically just a bunch
no
of
one
like,
with a job can do this.
Yeah, it's just like a bunch of kids and stuff. So pretty much... so I was unemployed at this time, and I was like, okay, like... I got nothing to do. I'm going to do this. I'm going to try to see how long I can go. I'm going to see... I can maybe go for... like a fucking day at most, or so. I'll see how long I can do it.
You think that until you actually
exactly. So pretty much what happened. So I was gearing up for it.
Until you have to go to your first bathroom break.
I was gearing up for it. It started about 10 o'clock my time, and so I was like, okay, to gear up for it, I'm gonna make myself 2 sandwiches, get myself ready. I'm gonna have enough food next to me so I can literally sit back, watch TV, literally just do this for as long as I can, and try to see how long I can go. So basically, what happened is it like started at 10 o'clock. I was going. I ate my first sandwich. I was like, all right, let's do this. And then I was going for about 30 minutes, and my fucking finger slipped, and I lost. I was like, so it literally took like 30 minutes for me to fucking fail, and then
Your finger slipped.
Yeah, and that literally just ended it. And then, which honestly is a good thing, because it's probably because like it ended
you wouldn't have won.
No, the winners ended up going for like 37 hours or some shit. Yeah, they're a bunch of like kids. But I was like, I don't know, it was just so sad because I was like...
That's actually less than I thought you were going to say, 37 hours.
Yeah, well, because I was keeping track with all of it as far as like people updating on their Instagrams and stuff. Like, oh my gosh, I'm still in the app. And like, there's only 35 people left. But like, it was just so sad, like being in my like recliner, sitting there. I was like, this is my only plans for today. And just looking over after I lost, I'm just seeing another fully made sandwich and just like, well, guess I got to put it in the fridge and just wait until dinner time. But... so that was a pretty fun time. Were you
using it on your actual phone or a different device you could still use your phone on?
I was doing it on my phone.
Were you using your left hand or your non-dominant hand or your dominant?
I believe I was using my right hand, which I write with my left hand, so that might have been the problem. But I was using my right hand, I believe, and I was just controlling the TV with my left hand and just kind of
That's where
back.
You fucked up.
Yeah, that's where I fucked up. So I could have won $100,000, but I messed up.
And now you're still recording a podcast.
Exactly. Now I'm stuck here. That's where I've been the last 9 months. I've been trying to get over the loss of losing the Finger on the App challenge.
Drank a lot.
Yeah. He also came out with Finger on the App 2, which is basically the exact same concept, but I didn't even fucking try it for that because I was I did not try. I did not bother making multiple sandwiches.
So you should have used like a tablet, so you have like a bigger room.
See, I thought of that.
Or does it have to be in one specific spot on the thing?
See, the problem is that you have to keep... it has to be the same finger. Like, you can't, like, lift and switch. Like, it has to be the same finger. Yeah. Which is a really big problem. So you got to figure out, do you want your pointer finger, your thumb? Like, what do you want to do? I'm pretty sure I just did my thumb because it's on my phone. But the problem is that, like, you have to... hit these certain boxes every like 10 seconds or so, so you have to like keep like moving it. Like if you
so you can't just like do nothing and then just keep your hand there. You gotta like
basically
keep active, like staring up.
So you have to like at least like if you move it in a circle like slowly, you'll hit all the boxes. You'll be fine. But like it's just one of those things where it's like you can't just not be.
Okay, well that makes more sense about the 36 hours thing because I thought it was like a just keep your thumb on the thing.
No, because people could just tape their fucking hands to it and they. But yeah,
or tape something to it.
Yeah, so it's like you have to like be active. You have to like keep moving it, and so yeah. And while I was just moving around the screen, my finger just slipped off, and I lost. So lost $100,000. That wasn't fun.
Did he increase the prize pool for the second one, or was it still 100,000?
I don't know. I believe it's probably the same. I wasn't super into it by the second time. I was like, all right.
He does a lot of crazy shit. I heard that he did like a Squid Games in real life
did
thing.
A full size Squid Game and like made the entire sets and shit. That shit was crazy. Pretty fun to watch. But anyways, enough about Mr. Beast. Time to get more to the Deep Thots podcast situation. The second best creators on YouTube.
With the second most money.
Exactly. Yeah. So pretty much. I guess some other topics. We just watched Magic Camp, the Disney movie on Disney Plus.
With Adam Devine.
It has Adam Devine, the girl from Community, Jillian Jacobs. I thought it was pretty good.
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it was. I didn't realize it because I had seen.
Oh, it had Jeff Tambor from Arrested Development on it too.
Yeah.
He was like the head magic guy.
Yeah. So I had seen that like movie on Disney Plus. Like I'd seen like
you scroll past it.
Yeah, but like I actually never realized it was made in fucking 2020. I didn't realize Adam Devine was doing this shit in 2020.
Yeah, so
yeah, so it was a very recent movie. I guess basically the simple synopsis. It's about the kid named Theo. He's big into magic, but his dad's dead. So
they don't say how he died.
They don't say how.
They said he's in the military.
Yeah,
but
he was
they
in the
didn't
military.
say he died in the military. But
yeah, they kind of assume.
Yeah,
but he loves magic. So he's like, oh, so his dad ended up applying to the magic camp, which is actually the Institute of Magic, and so he ends up going to this magic camp. He's pretty shy, he's pretty nervous, but he's like, okay, let's do this. So he goes to the camp. He ends up, he's really good at magic, obviously.
But he gets in like the band of misfits.
Yeah, he's in the band of misfits, the people who are a bunch of noobs.
And Adam Devine has been a taxi driver, is a washed up magic act.
Yeah.
He's just been driving around taxis in Las Vegas for people.
Exactly. And so
then he gets a call from Jeff Tambor's character to come back and be a camp counselor at this magic camp.
Pretty much the background of it. Adam Devine, he's a camp counselor now for this camp where he actually won 3 straight golden wands, which basically means you're the best magician at camp. So he's a really good magician, but he never panned out because his assistant, fucking Jillian Jacobs, whatever her name is, Hardwood or something. What's her name?
I don't
yeah, we didn't remember. But so basically, his assistant is some girl ended up being a really good magician because she took a solo act, and then now they're both back at camp to help the kids. Darkwood.
She doesn't have a first name. It's literally just listed as Darkwood.
No, I think her name was like Christina Darkwood or something. But so she comes back. She's so Adam Devine's like, oh, you betrayed me because you took this solo act, and now. They're both back at camp, so they're kind of like rivals, but they're still, I don't know. Darkwood like doesn't give a fuck. She's like, I just want to be friends. Like, I don't know why you're so fucking pissed off. But Adam Devine's, just like doesn't like her at all. But I don't know. So basically, it just turns into kind of this rivalry. They're the Hearts, and then the other team is the Diamonds. Adam Devine is the Hearts. Blah blah blah. So basically, they're just this band of misfits. They're a bunch of noobs. And then, the best character of the movie is this little fat kid who is on the Diamonds. He's on the good, the more advanced cabin. His name is Vincent or Vic. His name is Vic.
Yeah, he won the last golden wand.
So he won the last golden wand. So he's basically
he's big dicking it around the camp.
Yeah, he's a big man on campus. Definitely the big
calls
man.
Everyone noobs. He's like a real gamer.
Yeah, he's a total tool, and he basically just treats people like shit. But anyways, he's a great character. Just thinks he's the best, and then
great character
he gets shown up on the end, which is amazing. But anyways, we don't want to get too much detail. I mean, you can watch it if you want. This podcast isn't meant to tell you what we're watching. You just gotta watch it. What'd you think of the Magic Camp, Zach?
It was a lot better than the last movie that we watched. Was it like the switching places
The swap?
one? The Swap.
Yeah, fuck that movie.
It was a lot better than The Swap. I thought
Definitely.
it was like a better Disney Channel original movie that I've seen in a while.
It was not a Disney Channel original movie.
It wasn't?
No.
It was on the original section.
Was it?
Yeah. On Disney Plus, it was on the originals movie section.
I think it was a Disney Plus original movie. I don't think it was an actual Disney Channel.
Oh, okay. Movie. Well, I guess I don't know the difference, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, basically the difference is that this was actually like high quality.
Yeah, it had like a decent enough.
There's no fucking way a Disney Channel original movie would have gotten Adam Devine, Jillian Jacobs, and all these other motherfuckers.
I don't know if this movie was on hold or whatever, but I went to the IMDb and this movie came out a year and a half ago, and the actor's way older now.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if this movie was on hold for a couple of years or something, but everyone
it came out
way
in
older.
2020, so it's not like
it must have been filmed in 2019.
Yeah.
So I guess 3 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, I guess. It's. I don't know.
I guess they're around puberty age, so I guess it makes sense that they would look a lot older now than they did back then.
You're talking about the kid actors?
Yeah, the kid actors. Yeah. A lot of them, when I went on IMDb, look way older now.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, well,
so I don't know if this movie was on hold for a while.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, so it was a pretty good movie. What do you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10 as far as
5?
A 5?
Yeah, it was average.
I think you gave The Swap a 5.
Did I?
I don't know. I was listening to a World Podcast. You gave some shitty movie a 5, and I was very shocked.
Well, I give that movie a 3, and I give this one a 5 now.
All right. I'll give it about a 6.1. It's not bad. It's actually pretty good. If you're interested in some good budget Disney straight to Disney
camp
Plus movie, movie about it's basically all the camp tropes of the popular kids. I
don't even know why this had to be in a camp.
It really didn't. It really did not.
They didn't do any camp activities.
Well, I don't get why the whole premise is that it's the Institute of Magic, where it's they literally pull up in front of a fucking college auditorium.
Yeah.
But then the rest of the movie they're at an actual.
Well,
camp
that's where they had the theater and stuff. But yeah, the back of the thing is the freaking camp. But yeah, they doesn't.
Yeah,
it could have just been a regular school.
Yeah, why is there some big ass building and then the camp is just they're actually in actual cabins? There's no reason why those cabins should be there. So I don't know, a lot of plot holes. What you'd expect from a Disney. Plus
I like
movie.
that. The freaking one gay kid is super into fashion and everything. He's
yeah.
I don't want to deal with magic. I want to deal with outfits.
Yeah, it's very very similar to if you've ever seen School of Rock. That kid who really loves outfits. He's very similar to that kid. So
yeah,
very
so
similar.
Lots changed in 20 years.
Yeah, lots changed.
20 years apart.
Exact same. I think it was played by the same actor too.
Yeah, it did seem like it.
Yeah.
Another a movie I watched the other day was A Quiet Place.
Oh, A Quiet Place.
Yeah.
Was that your first time seeing it?
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
It was pretty good, but there were a lot of questions that I had about that.
What you quit? I'll get you those answers.
Okay, how do they have electricity?
I don't know.
Or what do they do with their house has a well groomed lawn and everything like that. They have a farm. Mm-hmm. At their house, and it's well groomed, it's been chopped, someone's been running a mower on it.
Maybe these are silent little those little.
I was are they just using scissors for their whole lawn?
That's what they do all day. They got nothing else to do. Might as well. What good questions you got, huh? You nitpicking the best movie of all time?
I was nitpicking a lot of shit. Yeah, I thought it was good. I didn't think it was the best fucking movie of all time, but
yeah, it's definitely a movie where
the kids were fucking idiots, but
yeah, you can't watch it more than a couple times. It's definitely not rewatchable because it's just all suspense and
then yesterday I started watching the second one, and then about halfway through I fell asleep.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, the second one's pretty interesting. I don't really want to spoil anything.
Well, let's talk about the first one.
All right, so let's talk about the first one. So yeah, so the first one, it's pretty good. It's basically just about
the enemies that can only hear, so that's sense is super heightened. It really reminded me of Stranger Things though, the enemies in Stranger Things.
Yeah, definitely the look of the alien
I forgot.
things.
I keep forgetting their names, but it's start with the Demogorgons.
Demogorgon, yeah, that's from Stranger Things.
Yeah, it looked a lot they reminded me a lot like that.
Yeah, they're really big, just weird fucking things.
They move super fast, and they still move pretty quiet.
I think the beginning scene when it's all quiet.
Yeah, they're in a store.
And yeah, but then there's the the monster ends up like getting the youngest kid. I think that scene's like really cool. Like
it
that's
is
just
a
like
good
it's
scene.
like super intense. Like it's super like it's a really good start of the movie. Where
But then
it's
you're
just
like, you fucking dumb kids.
I know
Kids?
they're fucking stupid.
They've been doing this for like over a year, and they're just pulling shit like that.
Yeah, I just think that
because he wants like a toy rocket that makes a lot of noise, and then
like you don't need the fucking batteries.
John Krasinski's character is like, no, you don't need it, and then like he just stays behind like when they're walking home, and then just starts lighting it up and makes a ton of noise. He's like, what the fuck?
Well, because the other girl gives him the batteries.
Yeah, I know, but it's like, come on.
Yeah, and so I don't know. So I just think the world building in the movie is like really good. I mean, I know like obviously the circumstances are pretty interesting. Of like, oh, you can't make any sound, and how could you live your life without making any sound? And then basically they're like putting sand everywhere to where they can walk throughout the entire.
Yeah, but I was like, what happens if
like,
it rains? Then you're just like stuck in walking in mud your whole way home.
I mean, I guess, yeah. I thought you were saying like the sound of the rain would like
distract
them, but no. I mean, they would just like be pissed off everywhere.
I guess you would want to go to a place where it rains a lot.
That's true. Seattle would be a great place to go to the quiet place. Yeah. Well, that's like a part in the first movie too, where they go to like a waterfall, so he can actually like talk to his son. Which I don't know why he didn't take him there earlier. Because he's just like...
Yeah, that's like their first time going.
Yeah, he's like, they haven't talked in like forever. And he's like, hey, how's it going? And he's like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you talking? And he's like, they can't hear us. We're by a waterfall. It's like, why don't we go here every fucking day so I can talk to my fucking dad? Like, why do you just wait so long to do this shit? So, I don't know. That's just...
But I like when there's like the scene where they find a house and there's like the old man where his wife just died.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's like winding up to yell, but he's like, who?
Yeah. He just starts yelling.
Like he almost got shot, but he's just like sad.
Yeah. I don't know.
That scene made me kind of laugh because I was like, this is kind of stupid.
Yeah, this is fucking weird. Like, it's just like all these random ass people just living in this quiet place.
I think that's like the only other character that gets shown, right, in the whole movie? That old man?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I know in the second movie they have
a lot of people in the second. Yeah,
but
I always like in those movies where like when they have the newspapers out and like reading the headlines or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like basically the whole premise of like how the aliens came, they actually touch on it in the second one, which is pretty exciting. It's just like
they drop from the sky.
It just like randomly.
But there must be a ton of them.
Yeah,
because there's like a rural town in like the south. And then there's like they're just everywhere.
Well, the thing about it is that there's only like 3 in that town.
Really? There's only like 3?
Yeah, because they mentioned it, I think, in the first one where like they have like newspapers and all this stuff. Or I think John Krasinski, like after, spoiler alert, after in the first one, after he dies, they go into the basement and they find his like drawings, and he's like 3 known cases of like 3 different ones that they've like found that they've seen, or there's only 3 of them there.
Oh, okay. I thought there was a ton.
No,
it's because they're always there immediately after sound comes.
They're just super fucking fast, and they just like kill everything that makes sound. So that's like
because it's sort of like the second something happens, they're there. Yeah. So I always figured that there's like, well, I thought in the final fight in the first one, there's like a bunch that run up on the house. I
thought there's only a couple of them. Maybe there is a bunch. I
thought there was like at least like 5 or something.
I think what I can remember, I haven't seen the first one in a long time, but I remember they kill the first one and all that shit. But I remember I think they showed 2 of them running to the house, but it was just a bunch of different camera angles.
Okay,
of the 2.
Maybe that was it.
I think
because it didn't seem like a ton, but
yeah. I mean, so pretty much that's what I remember. But I mean, I know.
You were talking about John Krasinski's like whiteboard thing in his basement. I thought it was funny. Like what he had written on there was like, need to get medical supplies, like, survive, just like those basic shit.
It was like weaknesses ? What are his
armor?
What are the
I just imagine him like looking at the whiteboard, like very like thinking about it a lot, and then he opens up the whiteboard marker, puts like an exclamation point on over like weakness or whatever, medical supplies, and then just looks back and goes,
that is important.
Yeah, we're on the case.
Yeah,
adds another exclamation point. Yep. Weakness.
Yeah, so pretty much, I mean, the whole, I guess, conflict of the first one.
But they already knew sign language because of their daughter's death, right?
Yeah, which is, that's a cool thing.
That's like the biggest thing why they're even alive in the first place.
Yeah, they all know sign language already, so they can just, like, keep going with that. But, I mean, I think the second one is really cool when it goes over the whole kind of, like, prequel of
I saw that part. Like I was still awake for that.
Yeah, that part's all really cool where they kind of like talk about how all that stuff happened, but then it gets to like oh, not like back to where we were after the first one. Then it kind of gets I don't know, not as interesting. It's just like, oh, it's still the same shit. But then
I wanted more of the
a bunch of stupid
stuff.
shit happened. Yeah, so
because I like watching the monsters just like fling people around like crazy.
Yeah, because the first one was so cool, just because like the world building, like it's so cool, like how they're actually like, okay, this is the main conflict, like this is kind of what's going on, and like this is how this family who already knows sign language is actually able to get through it all.
And who has a pregnant wife or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, because that's like the main conflict. So besides the whole, the whole thing of like, oh, these monsters come to kill you if you make a fucking noise. Yeah. Besides all that, they have the fucking wife got pregnant, so they got her pregnant while all this shit was happening. So they're just a bunch of idiots on that point. But maybe they're into condoms in the apocalypse. But basically, the wife is pregnant and she's like about to give birth in like the next few weeks. So they're really worried about that. And then when she does end up giving birth, she's like in the house and like John
the
Krasinski's
worst
out
possible
there.
time in existence.
Yeah, and she steps on a fucking nail. That shit was awful.
That shit was bothering me the whole movie. When every time they walked down the stairs, I was waiting for them to.
I know the fucking nail.
I was like, can someone take care of this fucking nail?
Yeah. So, spoiler alert: she steps on a nail. But basically, so she's like in a tub and she's like
trying not to scream.
Trying not to scream. There's a fucking monster in the house that'll just kill him, and then she somehow gives birth.
Well, they light off like fireworks, which is like their emergency solution to make enough noise to distract the monsters, basically.
Yeah, so it all works out, but John Krasinski dies. So poor Jib. But yeah, it's also
I was surprised that he died because I knew there was a second one, but I thought he was in it more because I thought I saw the trailer where he's in like the beginning part where they show the beginning and he's in that.
Oh, so I thought you already seen that before you watched the first one?
No, well, I saw the trailer for like the commercials of the movie have like the prequel scene, I guess, or whatever, like the day one scene. They had that in, like the commercial, and they have him in that. So I figured he survived the first one or whatever, and like they were just showing a flashback.
Damn.
So I was actually kind of surprised that he actually died in the first one.
Actually, it's kind of interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of cool too about the movie is that like John Krasinski is actually married to Emily Blunt, the other actress. So that's kind of cool because I think he is actually one who produced it and like made the whole story of all this stuff.
Yeah, he directed it.
Yeah, so he, directed, acted, died. So did everything he wanted into the movie. So he did it all.
So you've seen the full second movie. Did you like that more or less than the first one?
I like the first one more just because of the kind of
the newness.
Yeah, just like the uniqueness of like, oh, this is all new. Like,
because I was watching the second one. I thought it was pretty good, but I wasn't as interested.
Like I said, like the prequel stuff's really cool. Of just like, oh,
yeah, I was interested in that a lot. Yeah.
Like, and just like seeing like all of them just be talkative like a normal family. They're like their kid's baseball game, and all of a sudden a meteor is like coming from the sky, and then a monster just comes out of nowhere and just starts fucking killing people, and they're all just like going like crazy. That shit's like really exciting. It's like super tense. But
then it's like you almost want to see what it looked like in like a big city.
Exactly. Like they could have done something very similar to like, not to get back to the fucking Purge, which I guess we could talk about the newest Purge, but basically.
I think we already talked about that.
Yeah, I think it was our last podcast. Right after we watched the Purge. Yeah, we make a podcast after every Purge. That's our schedule. When a Purge comes out, we'll make a podcast to talk. We're the Deep Purge podcast.
We need to watch the rest of that show.
Yeah, fucking Purge show.
We watched the first episode and that was it.
We should. Fuck. But yeah, so like I was saying, like kind of like how the Purge did it, to where it's like, oh, the first movie is just about this family, but the second movie is about this family dealing with it.
Yeah.
Like that would have been kind of like I could see him doing that in the future, doing kind of like a spin-off of like, this is what some other random family has to deal with, or like how they did it better, or like what they're doing to kind of like beat the fucking zombies and shit. Because like obviously like in the in the main franchise, they're just in some rural place like where they're living on a fucking farm, so they don't have like noise canceling fucking walls. But like I could imagine like being in like a big city and like you could be on like the fucking 8th tower of a building. Like they're not gonna hear you up there. Like
you think it'd be easier to survive in kind of a big city because there's so much.
Yeah, now that I fucking think of it, why can't you?
There's so much more noise pollution there already.
Well, obviously, like. Well, what do you mean, noise pollution?
I mean, like it'd be easier to kind of like get set up because there's already way more people. So, like, they'd be more distracted by more things.
Well, yeah, they're just going to kill everybody, but, like...
But, I mean, like, you wonder how many aliens dropped in New York compared to that town.
Yeah, but
like, was it still only 3 of them, or was it a lot more?
Yeah, it's still interesting. Like, yeah, now that I think about it, like, they literally could have just gone to like a close downtown and just, obviously that's a long fucking walk. Like I know it's hard to survive like that, but like you just go in like a big building and go to like the top floor and just like live there for a while. Like they can't hear you. Like they're not gonna fucking climb up in that building just to.
I mean, they might. I don't know, but
I don't.
Because they can hear from like what, miles away.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
So they might hear you, but I mean, you can be you have a little more leeway probably.
Yeah, I mean, if you're that high in the air, I don't think they'll be listening for that. Like, I don't know.
Climb Mount Everest just to get away from it.
It's an interesting thought. I mean, I've always thought about, too, of just like, well, I guess I kind of touched on that in the second one. I don't really want to spoil it if you plan on watching it.
I mean, you can tell me, because I'm probably not going to go back and watch it.
So basically, the whole...
okay, I'll tell you where I left off from. So I think the last scene that I remember was like the girl goes off on her own, and then she's like in like a school bus, and then she like shoots one of them with a shotgun, and then she gets saved.
Have they like heard anything on the radio yet?
Yeah, they heard the song.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, sorry to spoil it, but basically...
what bugged me about that scene where she shoots him is that like she holds the shotgun with like one hand, and she's like an 8-year-old girl, and there's no kickback. And I was like, right before she shot, I was like, she's gonna break her fucking shoulder, and then just literally like no motion of the gun after she shoots a fucking shotgun.
Yeah, gun motions in movies aren't ever gonna be good.
I was like, she would have fucking broke her face if she shot that like that. Like just one hand, like a pistol.
Yeah. Do you care if I spoil anything?
I don't care. Go for it.
Alright, so spoilers for all those fans out there who don't want to get spoiled for fucking Quiet Place 2. But basically, the song is basically alluding to, like, oh, there's people on this near island who are actually living good. And, like, because no one can hear them because they're on the fucking island and there's no monsters that made it to them. So basically what ends up happening is that they go down to, like, the dock and they end up, like, stealing a boat. I think so they basically have this neighbor. Did they meet the neighbor of like, so Emily Blunt and, you know, the kids, they go and find this neighbor who like actually used to know John Krasinski, and she's like,
the guy with the beard.
So that guy's like, you know, has been living good.
I didn't know they were like actually neighbors with him.
Yeah, because they like know him.
They showed him in like the prequel day one.
Well, because like in the first one when they're lighting that fire on top of the big tower, I think that was signaling to him that like everything's fine, like or stuff's bad, whatever. So basically, they meet up with this neighbor. They kind of see his crib and all that shit, and they kind of like see how he's living. Yeah, the
guy's foot gets trapped in a bear.
Yeah, that shit's fucking awful. Yeah. But anyways, so the deaf daughter and the neighbor end up going to the dock. They go to this dock and they find all these fucking people who are like just psychopaths trying to kill people for no reason. They're just like, don't take our boats. Which I don't know why they haven't gone on the boats yet. I don't remember the exact thing of why they're there, of like why they're being so fucking weird. So they end up getting onto a boat and they go to this island, and then they meet this island people, and they're all super cool, and they're like, oh my gosh, like we've been sending out this thing of like, oh, come to the island, like we have like we're living life like normal, and they actually are living normal. But then it turns out a fucking monster was on the fucking boat underwater when they brought it over. So then the fucking monster starts going crazy on the island and starts fucking killing people, and everything goes to shit.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so that's
wait, like one of the regular monsters was like stuck to the bottom of it?
He's basically just on the fucking boat, and then they go to the island, go in the dock, and he just climbs to the dock and starts fucking killing people. It's pretty intense.
That's the end of the movie?
No, it's not the end of the movie. It's kind of like the climax. I can't even fucking remember the end of the movie. I don't remember if they actually end up like killing the monster. I think they just like start panicking and just like, because they haven't had to deal with monsters even on this fucking island, so they just like don't really know what's going on. But I just remember a lot of the people just fucking die, and it's just like chaos. And then I don't know. I can't even remember the fucking ending. Go watch the movie.
You don't remember the ending?
I don't remember the movie. I don't remember the ending. So you're gonna have to watch for yourself.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to Google it now.
Yeah. Gets excited though, huh? Giving you the main plot points. Like, oh, what's gonna happen next? That should be the fucking marketing agent for Quiet Place 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look it up on like Wikipedia. It only had a 7.3 on IMDb. That's actually kind of low from what I was expecting.
Not really?
Yeah. Because like people talk about these movies like they're like fucking amazing. So.
Yeah.
It made a lot of money. The budget was like 55 to 61 million. It made almost 300 million at the box office.
Jeez. They're just like, it's weird to think about like how, I mean, obviously those movies are pretty easy to make with such little money. But even then, it's weird to think about like movies where like, oh, it was a failure because it like was made with 50 million and it only made 70 million. But it's like, I'm trying to like, do those people like obviously the directors and stuff? Does that 50 million in the budget, is that their paychecks or do they only get paid from what they profit?
Yeah, I don't know.
'Cause I'm curious about that because like who makes the most of the money when like they go crazy in the box office? Like obviously like say Pixar, like with Toy Story fucking 3, they made over like $1 billion. So like who gets all that money? Is that just the Pixar? Do they like disperse it among the people who made the movie, or is it mostly just like going straight to the company and like maybe some other people get some bonuses and stuff? Like that's kind of interesting. If like, oh, if you make this movie, you don't get any, like your payment isn't based on how good it is. It's just like you don't get any of that money. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how, like, I'm sure those contracts are, like, different for every single person that they sign on.
Because, I mean, obviously, like, Pixar movies and stuff, like, they have, like, hundreds of people working on each of those movies just to animate them all and everything. But, yeah, it's fun to think about. That's a BTQ of this week. What do you guys think that movie people get paid, depending on how much the movie makes, or how much...
All you movie people out there, what do they get paid?
Yeah, all you movie people.
So, yeah, I was looking at the ending, and it said, like, the creature comes on the island, starts killing everybody, and then they go up to, like, a radio tower and, like, broadcast, like, the high-pitched sound, and so they kill the monster. But it did kill, like, a bunch of people.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm trying to think of the exact ending. Yeah, it sounds familiar, because they go to, like, they go to the radio booth that's, like, been streaming the song to everybody, because the deaf girl goes to the radio booth and she kills the monster that's like in the radio booth with her. But if that's the only monster, they should just be living large on the fucking island. Like they shouldn't have to worry about any of that, you know? Mm-hmm. Because I'm curious too of like how many so pretty much in the first one, I didn't think this was gonna be a whole fucking Quiet Place podcast, but basically in the first one, like the only thing that like actually brought the aliens was just like meteors, but like I don't know how many meteors hit the Earth or where the entire world is like now in apocalypse mode, because it's like literally one meteor hit and then there's like fucking 3 of them on it for this one small town. Like I don't. In the second one they show other kind of meteors coming down, but like if there's like 10 fucking monsters, it's not gonna kill the entire world.
Yeah, you think?
Like they gotta have some type of war, like military effort.
Or they'd be able to figure out how to do it. Like they freaking. Like a random family figured out how to kill like a few of them.
Yeah, like a fucking Emily Blunt shot one of them and killed one. Like
with a shotgun.
Yeah, like
you think a tank would be able to, like a fighter jet would be able to?
Yeah, it would kill all of them immediately. Like it wouldn't even be a problem. Like so, no, that's kind of a.
Yeah, and I looked it up. It says like it's an ending full of hope. The island is once again free of creatures. There is a chance of things could return to a semblance of normalcy. So they just said, like, they killed the monster, and then it's like, oh, yeah, we're good. We're saved. Even though it's like that
Sorry for those people that died.
It's like, they could happen again, though. If, like, someone with a boat went out there with a monster on it again.
Yeah. So
it's like, you're totally out of the clear. I didn't realize how long it was delayed, though. They said, it's a perfect ending for a film which essentially bookended the pandemic in its original release date, March 2020, and its eventual one, May 28th, 2021. So it got delayed like over a full year.
Jeez. Well, I'm trying to think of when the first one came out. I think the first one came
2018 or something?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Because I remember I was in college when it came out, and I saw it. But
yeah, I feel like it's been out for a minute.
Yeah.
Let me see.
That's interesting.
But yeah, that's a long delay.
I mean, have they been in talks of making a new one, like a third one?
I haven't heard anything about it.
Well, I hope they do. It's a good duology, the Quiet Place duology. Feel free to check it out.
Yeah, the first one came out April 6, 2018. Almost 4 years ago.
Damn, sounds about right. So yeah, that's the Quiet Place and the Quiet Place 2.
People also search for The Forever Purge, July 2nd, 2020.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, the newest Purge is fucking awful.
I also like how they say in that article that the movie bookended a pandemic in March 2021.
Yeah.
No one ever talked about the pandemic
is
again.
over. We're very excited.
Yeah, pretty much is now that everyone's saying about Russia. I haven't heard the word COVID in like a week.
Yeah, that's true. But anyways, so back to Pixar. Another topic. Turning Red is coming out in a couple weeks. That's the new Pixar movie.
Yeah, I know. Pretty much all I know about this movie is from a Mozilla Firefox commercial.
Yeah. Yeah, so they've been doing a lot of different ads, a lot of different sponsorships to kind of get the movie out there. It should be a straight to Disney Plus movie, but pretty much the whole premise of the movie is about this young Asian girl who, basically in her family heritage, they turn into red pandas at a certain age, which is kind of interesting. But
yeah,
basically,
makes sense.
Yeah, but basically what I heard today, which me and Zachary talked about, kind of the whole metaphor of the movie is basically puberty. So she basically just like turns into a red panda when she has like a really high emotions, so she has to keep her emotions in check to not turn into red panda.
Yeah.
But then the whole title turning red, it's basically to symbolize like young girls getting their first period. So that's like kind of the whole, and like even the director even came out and said that. Basically, that's what I heard. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting movie, definitely a coming of age. But I mean, a lot of people are mad that the animation isn't as good as other Pixar movies, which I mean it.
Well, I noticed that, immediately based off the commercial that I watched.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a different art style. I mean, obviously.
I think it looks worse. I think it looks cheaper.
You think so?
I think it looks cheaper.
I don't know. I think it'll still be good. I think.
I'm sure I'm
waiting
fine.
until it fully comes out
Because
because I know. I mean, so Luca, the other Pixar movie, one of the other ones that came out straight to Disney Plus recently. I was really a big fan of that. I love Luca. But even that.
I haven't seen that.
Oh my gosh, you need to watch it. So basically,
I haven't seen like a lot of the recent Pixar movies.
What the fuck?
I saw Onward, but I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen Soul.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen. What was it? Coco? Was that a Pixar movie?
You haven't seen Coco? That's like kind of old. That's all super recent. Yeah.
That came out like 4 years ago, probably.
Damn, those are all really good. But yeah, as far as Luca, I mean, obviously that one's kind of recent. That was made during the pandemic, but that one, like, the art style is a lot different. Is
Ferdinand Pixar?
No, it's not fucking Pixar. Fuck Ferdinand. Fucking John Cena is Ferdinand. Are you kidding me? But yeah, so Luca's a very different art style. It's very simple. It's very definitely simple art style, which is very similar to Turning Red. So that's why I was kind of like shocked of why they thought it was so ridiculous, even though Luca kind of did the same shit.
Did it have a similar art style? What was even Luca about?
So Luca, I would love to talk about Luca. It's basically about this young boy who's named Luca, who's living in the water. He's a sea monster. And basically what happens is they're kind of living on the edge of this like Italian island in
Italian
Italy.
island?
Yeah, so all these Italian people in Italy. So he's living underwater with his parents, and they're sea monsters.
As you do.
Yeah, and so they're scared of the humans, and the humans are like terrified of sea monsters because there's like a bunch of legends and they've seen sea monsters. And so he ends up meeting this other sea monster named Alberto who lives on the island. So pretty much if you're a sea monster, if you go onto land and you get dry, you turn into a human.
Okay.
So that's kind of like a simple human to fucking sea monster thing. So they switch into humans. So he Alberto has been kind of living this life. He's like another kid. And he kind of shows Luca the way, and they like become really good friends. And Luca obviously is kind of like disobeying his parents by going on the island and like kind of going on land and kind of becoming a human. So they try to like basically ground him and send him to the deep ocean with their Uncle Ugo, which is fucking hilarious because the Uncle Ugo is just a weird ass fucking deep sea monster. So anyways, Luca like runs away to be with Alberto, so they go on the island. Then they end up going to the main island, which has a bunch of other humans. So they're kind of like, so Luca's like really worried. He's like, oh my gosh, all these humans are around, but like, even though they look like humans, so they meet this other girl, Julia, who she basically like really wants to be. She wants to win this local race, which is basically just like a little kid race where you could win some money, where it's just like, it's a 3-leg race where you have to bike, you have to swim, and you have to eat fucking pasta because it's Italian. And so that's kind of the whole thing. It's a very simple movie. It's not like super extravagant, but it's like this very simple concept. So they have to try to win this race while also trying to balancing themselves of not touching water. So they show that they're sea monsters. It's a very good movie. It's very cute. It's very fun to watch.
I knew literally nothing about it.
Yeah, it's very relaxing to watch. It's very just like I could literally just turn it on whenever.
Finding Dory.
Finding Dory is overrated. I'm not a huge fan of Finding Dory. It was good, but it's just not.
The stakes weren't as high.
I don't know. Just like it wasn't as original, obviously, as Finding Nemo, and I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of all the new characters they brought in. They weren't as fun for me. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of Finding Dory. I think I actually have in my phone my new Pixar list. I could go over that.
You have an updated list now?
I have an updated list of all the Pixar movies. Let's see if I can find it. So I kind of did this a few...
Do you like update as you go? Like immediately after watching one, you just like update it?
I mean, basically, yeah. So I do. So I have my Pixar list. basically. So there's been 24 movies.
Because what last time he did one was like after Cars 3 came out.
Yeah. So it's been a while. So I actually recently updated this last month. So it's very recent. I'm sure all my opinions should be the same. I have a new top everything. Monster University is not my number one anymore.
Oh, what?
Which, so we're getting pretty crazy here. Basically,
I actually did end up watching Monster University. I didn't think it was number one.
What? I mean, yeah, it shouldn't be number one. So, Monster University is just so
Monsters,
close to my heart.
Was far superior than Monsters University.
It is better. I do have it. I have it better now. Like, I have it ahead now. But
you're just really high on that movie.
Monster University is just so close to home for me, so I just really liked it. So I guess we'll go through my Pixar list.
Alright.
Let's do it. Alright, so we'll start from the bottom. 24, Cars 2 is still my bottom. I'm not a big fan of Cars 2, obviously. 23 is The Good Dinosaur.
I forgot about that.
I feel like everybody should agree that those are the bottom two movies.
I never saw Good Dinosaur.
Yeah, it's not very good. 22 is Cars 3. Still not... I mean, it's fine, but like compared to other Pixar movies, it's just not that good. So those should definitely be the bottom three. 21 is Brave. I was not a big fan of Brave.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Some other people like that, but I don't know. It wasn't my cup of tea. Not a big fan of Brave. 20 is Finding Dory. Another one that you haven't seen. It's not very low on my list. You've seen all the good ones.
Yeah.
19 is actually Incredibles 2, which I had very high before. Yeah, that was... I still like it. I mean, obviously it's kind of hard with Pixar to kind of rate all these movies. But yeah, so 18 is Toy Story 4. I was not a big fan of Toy Story 4.
I wasn't either.
Yeah, it
was just kind of... I don't know.
It just seemed like
the stakes didn't.
It was just so unnecessary. Like they didn't have to make this. Like it just Toy Story or fucking.
They didn't really have to make Toy Story 3 either.
Nah, I mean Toy Story 3 was good though. It was worth it. But yeah, so Toy Story 4, not a huge fan of. 17 is Onward. I had that in my top 10 before because that was very recent and I like just watched it, so I was super high on it. After
it was okay. It was like after Holland.
Yeah, after a couple rewatches, it's not as good. I like how it's kind of definitely unique, definitely kind of a new type thing. But yeah, not a huge fan of it.
Didn't really feel like a Pixar movie.
No, it didn't. It wasn't as exciting. I thought that one, the animation wasn't that great compared to the Pixar movies.
Yeah, I liked it though.
Yeah, it's still good. 16, I did A Bug's Life. A Bug's Life is very forgettable. It's still a classic, but it's definitely not one that I constantly rewatch.
Still a classic, still forgettable.
It's a classic, but forgettable. 15, I did Soul. Soul's pretty good.
It's like their second newest one. Or is it their newest?
Yeah, second newest. Because it came out after Onward, but before Luca. It definitely feels like a Pixar movie. It's definitely more geared towards adults. Yeah, I like the story. There's some parts
more old school.
Yeah, I mean, there's some parts I wish they would have done differently. But I mean, overall as a whole, I think it was a really good movie. Above that, 14 is WALL-E.
WALL-E! I forgot about WALL-E. That's a good one.
It's a really good movie. But I think it's a good spot at 14. I don't think it should be any higher. Obviously, it's a really good movie, but I just, for my sake, it's just not as. I take rewatchability into account for a lot of these, and I just don't think that one's very rewatchable.
Yeah.
Especially the next one, 13 is Up. Up is really good. I mean, I think obviously
it's very front loaded.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the first 7 minutes or so. That's like probably the best.
It's like an Oscar-winning short.
It's literally like the best animation story of all time.
Yeah.
Like it's literally incredible. And then after that, it just the story kind of just.
It doesn't match the highs.
Yeah, it doesn't really fit. Like it just it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like it's not as
they should just like
down to earth.
They should have just done the short and then like kind of that would have been kind of fine.
So it's really only at 13 just because of the beginning, but so 13, 12 I did Coco, which could be higher. I really like Coco. It's a great movie. You should watch it. But yeah, the animation was really good in that. It's pretty fun. 11 I did Cars. A lot of people don't like the original Cars, which I think is ridiculous. I think the first Cars is a lot of fun. It's a great movie. I think the animation's really good. The characters are fun. They don't really kind of drag on like other movies. And then they got
Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah, you don't hate Mater in the fucking first one because he's kind of fun and he's new and he's just a side character. 10, I have Luca. It was in my top 10. I have it ahead of Cars. Do
you think this one could drop after it's been out for a while?
I was even thinking.
Because how many times have you seen it?
I've seen it honestly quite a few.
Oh, okay.
Like I've been watching a lot because I was even thinking after I first watched it, I was like, man, this is actually really good. And then I was thinking because I was so thinking of Onward I first watched and I really liked it, but then it just ended up dropping down far in my rankings. But Luca, I've still been watching a lot recently, and I still just really like it. It's just fun. It's just a fun movie. It's very different. Obviously, it's not as emotional. It's just very simple, and it's just a fun story about two friends that are just exploring Italy. So yeah, it's a great movie. You need to watch it. 9, I have the original Toy Story. Yeah, definitely makes my top 10. But obviously the animation is not as crisp. It's the first fucking animated movie of all time. But yeah, it's still a great movie. Obviously, as far as rewatchability, I mean, I've probably watched Luca and Cars and all those movies before the original Toy Story, just because obviously with the animation it's not as fun to rewatch because it's just not as good. But it's still a great movie. Obviously, it's a classic. 8, I have Inside Out.
That's a good one. I've seen that one like once or twice. I think I watched it in English class.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, Inside Out's definitely. I think that's obviously out of all, say, the new Pixar movies in the last like decade. So they say after the first 10 Pixar movies, this one's definitely the most original out of all of them. I just think the story is just like incredible how they thought of all this stuff, all these little intricacies. So it's really fun in that regard. It's a great movie. Number 7, Toy Story 3. I have as my number 7. It's an amazing movie. Obviously, Toy Story 3 is so fucking good and very heart-wrenching. Obviously, that's kind of like different from Up.
Pretty high stakes.
Yeah, like where the whole movie's exciting. Like, okay, you haven't seen these characters in a long time, and it's actually a really great story. It all fits, and it kind of has a really good ending, and like it's really sad at the end where you're about to fucking die.
Well, it's bittersweet. Yeah, it's bittersweet after that portion.
Yeah, so it's very very more balanced, especially compared to Up as far as the emotional parts. Number 6, I have Finding Nemo. Big Finding Nemo fan.
Yeah, this is probably the Pixar movie I've watched the most.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, actually, maybe Monsters, Inc. Monsters, Inc. I might have seen more.
Yeah, I don't think I've watched it. I've obviously grown up, I watched Finding Nemo a lot, but I think now I don't watch it as much just because I've fucking seen it so many times. But it's still a great movie, obviously one of the classics. Number 5, I have Monster University. Still probably... If we're talking about best Pixar movies, it probably shouldn't be top 10, honestly, if I'm just saying, like, in general.
Taking your bias out.
Yeah, taking my bias out, it probably shouldn't be top 10, but
it would probably, like, most people's list would probably have it near the bottom.
Yeah. I just love this movie. I just really like the way they use the characters again, and
I thought it was good, but it didn't really feel like a Pixar movie.
Yeah, I just... When it came out, it just really hit home with me of, like, going to college and, like, trying to live your dreams and all that shit. Not like me, I'm fucking unemployed. But anyways, number 4.
So don't take it.
Fuck Monster University. They ruined my life. 4 is The Incredibles. The Incredibles is so fucking good. This top 4, I really feel really good about. I feel like
it's also cool that the main voice actor is from Spokane.
I know, yeah. Craig T. Nelson, yeah. That's why he should be number 1 just for that. Craig T. Nelson. From Blades of Glory fame. He was the coach.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, so that's my number 4. So my top 3. Number 3, I have Monsters Inc. Which I feel like is where it belongs. It's top 3. I feel really good about. Monsters Inc. is number 3. Obviously, amazing movie. Everybody knows that. Number 2, I still have Toy Story 2 as my number 2.
It was like that before.
Yes, it was like that before. I basically just swapped my number 1 with Monster University and then kind of shuffled around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Toy Story 2 I fucking love. It's my favorite Toy Story. I think the story is fucking amazing. It's really exciting. It's really fun. My number 1, do you know the Pixar movie I'm missing that is going to be number 1?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I figured. So number 1 is Ratatouille. That is my number 1.
Yeah,
my favorite movie.
I forgot that's a Pixar movie.
Ratatouille is fantastic.
I love that movie. I've seen that a ton.
I love Ratatouille. The whole thing, you can watch multiple YouTube videos.
I've probably seen like that one, Monsters Inc. and Finding Nemo the most out of all the Pixar movies.
Yeah, I mean those are all of my top 6. Yeah, it's definitely my number 1 movie right now, and it should be that for a while. You can watch a lot of different YouTube videos.
That movie's been out for like 15 years at this point, so it's probably not going to change.
Yeah, so Shafarilis Productions, he makes a lot of kind of fun YouTube videos. He does like a whole hour-long deep dive on Ratatouille of like why it's so fucking good and like how it kind of is different from other like kids movies, of how it actually really is like for adults, like how they kind of change different tropes into like something new. So it's It's an amazing movie. If you haven't seen it, you're fucking crazy. I don't think Mason, our top fan, has seen Ratatouille, or he saw it recently. I don't know what it is.
He had never seen it.
Yeah, he had never seen it. He still might not.
I don't even know how he could avoid it. Like, because I feel like in school I watched it like 3 times.
I know. He's never seen Wreck-It Ralph. I think that's still one.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, that's a good one.
It's a great one.
Did they make They made a sequel, right?
The sequel fucking sucks. Do not watch the sequel.
I never saw the sequel.
Good.
So
yeah. First Wreck-It Ralph is really good. Watch it, Mason. But yeah, so Ratatouille. If you have not seen it, you're crazy. It's my favorite Pixar movie. And if you don't agree with me, you are wrong. And that is the official Pixar
Even though you
ranking.
disagreed with yourself, like, literally before you made this list.
I've come to a change of heart. But yeah, that is the official Pixar rankings. That is set in stone of what the nation
for at
believes.
least the next 3 years.
Yeah, at least the next 3 years, until the next Olympics. This will be the Pixar list.
The next Winter Olympics.
Yeah, the next Winter Olympics. I can't wait. By the next Winter Olympics, I'll have a
2026.
Yeah, 2026. It's gonna be
maybe
Canada.
The new Pixar movie that's coming out in 2 weeks will be number 1.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm like with this Pixar ranking. It's very exciting for when a new Pixar movie comes out. Kind of see where it fits. So I'm very excited to watch Turning Red. Obviously, I kind of have my initial thoughts. From what I see now from the trailers, I don't think it'll even be in my top half. I really am not excited for it, which, you know, it's kind of good to have low.
After you just said, I'm excited for every Pixar movie.
I am excited. I mean, it's nice to kind of throw it on the ranking and kind of see where it fits. I have low expectations for it, which I might be in for a good treat. Turns out to be a very good movie, which I'm hoping it is. So we'll tune in 9 months and see where it fits. I think there's some other Pixar movies coming out soon.
Is there?
Soon. I know there's some. There should be
I'll
some
look
on the
it up.
docket. I know they got some in the works. I'm excited to see what's coming up. We got Turning Red. Let's see. I think we're both looking it up here. Pixar movies.
Lightyear.
Oh yeah, the new Lightyear. Yeah, that I'm really excited for that. The old spin-off from Toy Story.
That's all I see upcoming is those two.
Yeah.
Those are the only two announced right now.
Yep. Yeah, those are the only two I see. So Lightyear should be very exciting. Yeah, I'm excited for Turning Red. I'm always excited for a new original from Pixar. A whole new story.
They said there was another movie scheduled for June 16th, 2023, but it's not announced yet.
Oh, interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Turning Red will be coming out soon, and then Lightyear will be coming out this summer. I'm sure we'll talk about that next year, and then we'll kind of see where that ranks. But yeah, there's been 24 movies out, so Turning Red is going to be the 25th Pixar movie, I believe. Unless I'm fucking missing one from my list, which I'll be very devastated if I am. I'll have to fucking throw it on there, but that is a Pixar list. What do you think, Zach?
I mean, I haven't seen most of the ones in the bottom half, but I mean, the top half I think is pretty spot on.
It's good. Yeah. The bottom half aren't as exciting. I mean, obviously, they're still worth a watch.
Yeah, maybe I'll just have to do like a Pixar binge or something.
Yeah,
just
Coco,
to catch up.
Coco is definitely worth a watch. That one's a great movie. Soul is definitely fun.
I heard the
really
soundtrack is really good for that. I think it won like an Oscar.
For Soul or Coco?
Soul.
Okay. I think Coco won some type of award. But yes, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely great soundtrack. Soul's it's a lot of fun. Definitely more adult commentary type stuff. But yeah, and then you got Finding Dory, definitely at least worth a watch. I mean, I love all Pixar movies. Good Dinosaur, you don't need to watch.
All Pixar movies matter.
All Pixar movies matter, except for the Good Dinosaur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can probably wrap up now.
All right, to wrap up, I feel like I talked a lot. I'm excited to be back. About to make another drink, and let's keep this party going. We should do this again soon.
Yeah, it's scheduled for December.
Let's do it. I'll mark it on my calendar.
Actually, it'll probably be around Thanksgiving. Will be the next one. Will be due.
Thanksgiving. All right,
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Can you believe that's how long it's been? Basically,
fucking
time wise,
ridiculous.
it'd be like us recording one on Thanksgiving would be like the time from now, from the last one they recorded.
Yeah, I apologize for all our fans who bought our merch. I know you're rocking it everywhere. People probably saying stuff on the streets of like, oh my gosh, you're a Deep Thoughts fanatic too. You're also a Deep Thought. Yeah, we'll be coming out with NFTs soon. We're very excited about our NFT.
Yeah, we're
products.
selling a Bored Ape.
Yeah, we're selling an NFT Bored Ape. It'll be worth about $1 million here in a few years. So definitely be on the lookout for that.
We're also introducing Thought Coin.
Yeah, Thought Coin. I wonder how you can even do that. That'd be fun. We should do that.
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, neither do I.
Yeah, how do we get on the blockchain?
Yeah, we could discuss NFTs next year. But yeah, so next podcast.
No, we're gonna miss the boat by next year. The whole thing will crash.
Boy, hopefully, so we got number 30 coming out soon. So this is number 29.
Yep.
Hopefully number 30 we can get next week. Maybe get some guests on. Get back in our usual routine and start getting this ship on the
Start cranking
roll.
this bad boy.
Start cranking this shit out. Let's get to 100. Huh? What do you say?
100 by the end of the week.
Yeah, 100 by the end of the week. So we're gonna end this podcast, start a new one. We'll have new topics. I'll do my Pixar list in reverse, and we'll go from there.
Pretend you've seen the new one and do it.
Yeah,
do
I'll just kind of throw it in and see my initial reaction and see how it fits with the new list. So. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you for listening to the Deep Thoughts podcast. And yeah, buy our merch and keep track
keeping
with
on.
us. Yeah, keep keeping on. Stay safe out there. It's been pretty crazy these days. But yeah, hopefully we'll see you maybe next week, maybe next year. Well, who knows?
Who knows? It's always a mystery.
It's always a mystery with the Deep Thoughts boys. So all right, thank you for listening, and we're gonna end this podcast how we know how to do it. So we're gonna high five. We're gonna click the end button. All right, Deep Thoughts podcast.